All right, I think we are ready to move to State Representative for District 89. Now, I understand we've only got one of the two candidates available to us tonight. So when I say I'm moving to move the mic to the other, just keep it.
I don't have to change seats, right?
I'll try not to get off track with this. All right, Dalton, would you like to start with, you've got 1.5 minutes. Talk to us about you and your visions.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for being here this evening. My name is Dalton Lytle, and I'm running for State Representative in House District 89. I'm a 10-year resident of Collin County and a lifetime resident of North Texas. I understand the issues that we face in North Texas, and I intend to go to Austin and help solve those problems. I've been married to my wife, Lisa, who's over here, for 23 years. We have 5 wonderful children, 3 sons, 2 girls, all homeschooled. We raised them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. I've served as the president of the Collin County Conservative Republicans. I've served in various leadership positions in the party, and I was asked to run for state representative in this district to return a consistent, constitutional voting record in this district. If you'd like more information about why I'm running in this race, you can look at the back of one of my cards, and it will give you the information that you need to help you understand why voters in this district are asking me to run. I'm proud to be here this evening. I look forward to answering the questions that you have, and I ask for your vote. We need new leadership in the House, from the top to the bottom. And I ask that you send me to Austin to elect a new conservative speaker and to be your conservative representative in House District 89.
Thank you very much, Dalton. Let's start with the first question for you this evening. What is your position on sanctuary cities in Texas? Should legislation be enacted to cut funding to municipalities that foster sanctuary city concepts?
One of the things we've heard talked about this evening are sanctuary cities. We absolutely have to stop sanctuary cities. We cannot continue to promote illegal immigration in this state or this country. As long as we continue to incentivize people to come here and stay here illegally, they will continue to come. We have a porous border. We have to close it. We can't continue to allow our cities to harbor illegal aliens. We're spending tax dollars on health care, tax dollars on education. We have to stop this practice. If we don't stop it, we'll continue to see a flood over the border. Drugs, drug trafficking, human trafficking, it's all tied to these things that draw people across the border. We can only spend so much of your tax dollars to defend the border. We have to stop these systems.
Thank you very much. Second question for you, don't pass the mic. All right. It has to do with term limits. Are you in favor of term limits? And if so, tell us what a representative term limit length should be.
Short answer, yes, I am for term limits. I think one of the reasons we need term limits today, you've heard others talk tonight about career politicians. When people serve for too long, they develop very strong relationships with other legislators, lobbyists, people who are not voters in their district. We need to have term limits at the local level, at the state level, and at the national level. My opponent has been in office at the end of this term for 14 years. I don't intend to serve for 14 years. As a matter of fact, I would limit myself to 3, no more than 4 terms. Because after that, it's time to come back home and let somebody else go to Austin and represent the voters in House District 89.
Thank you very much. Moving forward to the third question for you tonight is dealing with water. And you know how concerned I am about water, and certainly most everyone in this room is concerned about it, so your answer to this is going to be very important to us. With the tremendous growth in the state, particularly in our area, What steps should the legislature take to meet the future water needs throughout the state?
I think the legislature needs to take a very close look at the growth in our area. We really have several opportunities to address water. I am very thankful that we've received so much rain over the last year and a half. I think as citizens, we did a fantastic job during the last drought of managing our water usage, but we are going to continue to grow. More companies are moving to Collin County. More people are moving into District 89 and all of the northern districts. We have to have enough water to support the companies. We have to have enough water to support all the people who are moving here. We can do that by looking, and I know that there's already some work going on to develop additional reservoirs. We have to do that in a way that protects private property rights. We can also address it by looking at expanding aquifers and protecting property rights as it relates to water rights in those areas as well. Another option is desalination. Desalination is somewhat expensive at this point. I think we need to look at the most efficient way to do that, and that may be an option. The other thing we need to do is look at technology to manage evaporation. These large lakes have a huge amount of evaporation. There are products on the market that help address that, but we need to do it in an efficient manner.
All right, thank you. And just a kind of a follow-on question to the water. Do you believe that the Railroad Commission should be the organization or the agency that is responsible for subterranean water?
Well, I think that's a really interesting question, and I can't say that I've had that question before, but there seems to be a little bit of a conflict of interest. You know, the oil drillers in this state use a lot of water. That perhaps might not be the best place to keep that responsibility. Now we'd have to look at where that responsibility might better fit, but there does seem to be a little bit of a conflict of interest in that area.
Thanks for addressing that. I appreciate that. All right, let's move on to the next question. Funding for education in Texas. You know this is quite important to all of us. It's being looked at by the courts. How will education funding need to be restructured? Education is very important. While I homeschool my children, I understand it's incredibly important. We are obligated as a state to provide a general education to our students. There are districts in Texas that struggle financially. There are districts in Texas that don't struggle financially. I think we have to look at what is the right formula to fund these. Property taxes are high, we know that here, but we have to look at how best to provide that general education. Perhaps it's better using technology to deliver education. Maybe there are some opportunities there. Perhaps we need to look at cutting administration costs. I believe our students are tested too much. I believe there's a lot of overhead related to that. We need to get back to the basics in the classroom, let the teachers teach, let the students learn, and look for ways to streamline what we're doing so that we give them an efficient education. I will tell you today, if I had $11,000 in my pocket for every student that I have at home, my kids would have an incredible education. We should be able to educate our children with that level of funding in this state. There has to be a solution, and we'll find it. Well, many years ago, the state established a lottery in Texas, and one of the propositions stated that the money from that lottery would be used to fund education. While a lot of that money seems to be going toward education, do you believe that the lottery is a safe bet?
I believe the lottery is a safe bet.
I couldn't.
No. Do I need to say any more?
You don't need
to me, that's a voluntary tax, and I don't choose to participate.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks for your answer. With the current drop in oil prices, the comptrollers are reporting a drop in sales tax collections. How will the 85th legislature be able to meet the needs of Texas while, at the same time, balancing the budget?
Well, I think we have an obligation to balance the budget. We have an obligation to you to balance the budget. These are your tax dollars that are being spent, and my tax dollars. I will treat those as if they were my own. Obviously, oil revenues impact the revenues to the state. Those aren't the only revenues that we have, though. I would want to see what the revenue projections are. I know we have revenues from lots of different sources. Our economy is still in a very good position. I frankly really like the low oil prices, but I know they come at a price. They do open up my budget, and I'm sure they open up yours to some degree. When I go to the pump, it's quite frankly a very large relief over the $3 to $4 gasoline. But we have to look very carefully. The way we control any budget is you look at what is critical to run your state. We have to provide for transportation. We have to provide for education. We are obligated to provide basic functions. I think we can do that. We can streamline. We can zero-based budget. We should be requiring agencies in this state to prove to us that they need the funds that they need. We have to do that. And that's the way I would approach it.
Thank you very much. Now you've got 60 seconds to do your wrap-up.
Fantastic. Again, I thank each and every one of you for staying with us this evening. I am looking to take a consistent, constitutional, conservative message to Austin. You will find me to be strong on constitutional values. I'm strong on life. I'm strong on freedom, faith, and family. I will look to protect your constitutional rights and to ensure that we as a legislature hold that legislation to our constitutional functions. And if I don't do that, it is your obligation to send me home. And I know that you take that seriously, or you wouldn't be here at 8:45 on a Wednesday night. So I just want to say thank you for being here this evening. If you would, I would ask you to go to my website, daltonfortexas.com, for more information. Again, that's Dalton Lytle, daltonfortexas.com.
Thank you very much, Doctor.